Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it is 6 p.m. Eastern on a Thursday night. Material Issues is live, episode number 137. It's going to be a good one. It's the one you've been waiting for. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records, and joining me, the man, the myth, the legume, Mr. David Bash of the International Pop Overthrow Festival. David, good afternoon. How the heck are you on this wonderful early January Thursday?
Good afternoon, Mark. I'm doing fine. And today I don't have my usual bright psychedelic looking shirt.
I just thought we have
I
to
kept it
adjust my
simple.
screen. Yeah.
I kept
Very
it
nice.
simple. Power pop, which is appropriate enough because we'll be playing several power pop selections. El Kabong, Quick Draw McGraw, of course.
El Kabong!
And so we'll be playing several power pop selections from my top 25 albums of 2023. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
all's good. I sent out some invitations to IPO Chicago bands. We've gotten lots of responses, lots of positive responses, I should say. So all is shaping up for that. And next week I'll be sending out Liverpool.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, as a tribute to the list that we're going to talk about, your best of 2023 lists. It's not just a list; it's multiple lists.
Right.
I just thought I would enjoy a little bit of Lay's limited edition ketchup flavor potato chips in your honor because I haven't had dinner yet. But when you hear that ASMR, the bag opening.
Now you tell me we don't have them out here, or at least I don't think we do. But I had some in New York, and they don't taste like the Lay's ketchup from Canada. This one has like half ketchup, half mustard flavor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it hits you with a very ketchupy, but there is almost like if you think about having a burger with the ketchup and mustard on it. That's what
it's definitely like. They don't tell you that on the bag, but there's a pronounced mustard. Yeah.
It tastes just like that little slice of tomato right there.
With mustard.
Here's to you.
Thank you. Yeah, those are good. I'm trying to remember if I've seen them out here yet. I don't think so.
That was my dinner right there, everybody. Thank you very much for enjoying my dinner with me.
There you go. New watch.
Oh.
Yeah.
New watch in the family.
One of my favorite watch companies is Zurich. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, but they used to be out of the San Francisco Bay Area. I think they moved their headquarters to Utah. But Zurich is known for having really sort of out there, just really different watches with often with some sort of a space theme. They're not all, but they're definitely all in some ways scientifically oriented. Yeah. And the time readouts are very, very unconventional. Yeah. And here's one of them. This is the triptych. It's hard to see with the glare, but it's
good. It's good right there. You can see the little blues and purples of the
background. This is the red abalone background. But what you have here is it's very, very easy to tell the time. Actually, you've got on the right, you've got the date wheel, the hour wheel, I should say, and then you've got the minutes surrounding the perimeter.
Right.
And you just match the hour to the minutes. And the cool thing is at the 9 o'clock position, when one of the wheels moves there, it flips.
Oh wow!
So this is what's known as a wandering hour. You notice right now, if you can see, it's little after 3 o'clock out here. You can see the 3 near the 5 marker. Notice the next wheel coming up. You can see the 4 on the outside of it. Mm-hmm. That one's going to replace when we go through the the 3 o'clock hour and we get to the bottom of it, the 4 will emerge on top.
Yeah.
And if you look at the next wheel down, you can't see the 5 on the outside. You can see it on the inside. Once it gets to the 9 o'clock position, the 5 will then rotate over to get ready to replace the 4 when we're done with the 4 hour. I know it's a little hard to articulate, but when you see it, it becomes intuitive once you look at it.
I know, and I know it's. I mean, it's no surprise to me that you got it because we had discussed this a week or so ago about should I, shouldn't I, and we, it doesn't. What we see online doesn't do justice to how really striking the face of this watch is. If you go onto Xeric, it's XERIC
right
.com.
Xeric, yeah.
The beautiful watch. Good get, man. I love it.
It really is cool, and I know you've got one too. And
I got it. Yeah, I got one as well. Not that model, but
I'll just pull out another one of my favorites here. This is the NASA Xeric here, and it's got planets for the hour and minute hand. So I just think these are really cool. They're very
they are very, very cool watch. I like watches where the mechanism visually is different. I like old school as well, but as you do, but
sure.
But watches that are well made and the mechanism functions well is important. But yeah, it's a very cool watch.
Thank you. Yeah. So
well, you got new watch. I got a couple of things that came in the mail. I know I talked to you before. I won this on a thing online, a set breaks thing that I do every once in a while. That's the 52 Babe Ruth Look and See on a very, very good 3 PSA.
That's got to be worth some bucks, no?
It is. Yeah, it's the only sports figure in the 52 set of I think 68 cards, but there's only one sports figure that happens to be Babe Ruth. So it's
that's the one to pick.
Pretty cool.
If it's going to be a sports figure in any set, it should be him.
That's him, yeah. And then I got these cards that I've been winning through some set break things. But they're impossible to find now because they made them in limited edition. They're called Bronx Legacy. They're all New York Yankees related cards, and usually with relics or autographs and whatnot. It's hard to tell how really gorgeous the cards are, but there's an example. That's a piece of the stadium seat with Joe Torre and his autograph on it. Stadium signatures.
That's nice. Yeah,
that's very cool. And then they'll do some funny things like there's Mickey Rivers, classic Yankee on that. But here's one that I really like. Of course, he's related to the Yankees, but Jason Alexander. But there's a lot of they were really neat cards, really well made, really neat idea, but impossible to find anymore. Here's where there's a thing called Dream Teams, and it's pieces of uniform from 8 different pitchers.
Let's see if I can identify them all. Well, Andy Pettit's 46.
Yeah.
22 could be Roger Clemens.
Yep.
35 is Messina.
Yep.
Mike Messina. 33 is David Wells.
Yep.
36, David Cohn.
Yeah.
Oh, the names are showing now.
Yep. So. Yeah, now you see him. 49.
49 would be Ron Guidry.
Yep. And 19.
19. Dave Righetti.
Yep. And 35.
Well, we just said Mike Messina, so there's another one?
There's another 35. Yep.
Oh, John Wetland, maybe?
Nope.
Oh, who is it?
Phil Necro.
Oh, wow. Okay, forgotten.
Cool card. I have about a dozen of these cards that I won, but they're out of stock. You can't get them anymore. They did limited edition, so that's kind of cool. And I wanted to remember last year we did this thing called Historic Autographs. We had the president of this company on our show, which was very cool. And they did these boxes where it's an old card on the front with their autograph on the back. Who did I get? I got John Cena's uncle. Who was that? Who did I get? I forget the last time. Remember the actor John Cena? It was
I don't remember.
His uncle. I'm going to crack this open for the first time here and see if I got a Babe Ruth or a Ty Cobb or something really cool. Most likely not, but that's what makes it fun. If I can figure out any way of getting into this.
That's why they play the games.
That's why they play the game. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is going to be George Yule.
Oh, wow, that's a play ball.
That's a play ball.
These are reprints, right?
No, this is the original card.
That's an original George Yule? Wow.
Yeah, original George Yule.
George Yule pitched for the Tigers, I believe, as well as other teams.
1926 20-game winner, George Yule with his autograph on the back.
Wow.
1940 play ball. That's a pretty good card.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Very cool.
An actual George Yule, 1940. Wow.
1940, yeah.
I love those play ball cards.
It's in very good condition.
Gorgeous in their simplicity, yes.
Isn't that neat? It's you know what? This is one of one.
I believe you.
Many times it's 1 of 5, 1 of 10 if they have that many cards. But this is a 1 of 1.
Wow.
So that's very cool.
You already scored.
So yeah. So that's a couple things I wanted to show there, just baseball related while we were goofing off and having.
Oh, it's just the one card. Oh,
just the one card. You just get that box and the one card in the box.
You did well. You did.
Yeah, 1 of 1. George Yule, 1940 play ball. He won 20 games in 1926. So, and I told you that book I got when baseball was still Tops, the 1959.
Yeah, I need to get that. Yeah,
what a great book. I mean, as I told you, there's not that many pictures or things, which is I wish they could have had a picture for each card, but the stories that the guy had dug up on every single card and every single player, amazing.
In the 1959 top set.
Yep, 1959.
You know, in 1975 at a baseball card show, I bought a complete 1959 top set mint. Well, I don't know if they were 10s, probably not, but they were certainly all mint. $40 for the whole set.
That's not even right.
Jeez. I know. I only wish I still had it, but wow.
And somehow you don't have it. Oh, Matthew, how you doing?
Hey, Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah, I could have bought a 43 set. Not 43, 53. That was going to be only a little more, maybe $50. The guy said, "I'm missing Bob Feller, but if you wait a bit, I can go get one." I said, "Okay." Well, 10 minutes later, he wasn't back, and I remember telling my dad at the time, I don't know if he's coming back. I don't want to miss out on other stuff. And that's when I found the 59. I should have waited. It wouldn't matter because I wouldn't have them now anyway. But
yeah,
what a time it was.
I used to go to the Renninger's flea market on weekends when Mom would go out there to do some like shopping for meats and things that they would. But then you go to the flea market side of things, and we would walk the whole flea market, and I would get the T 206, 210, 211 cards for $1. And because I was so into baseball history and I would read about all the old players, I picked up players' names that I recognized. And I had a Ty Cobb gold border. I sold that many years later for $1,800. Bought my first computer with it. I mean, you want to talk about making some money on things. I still have a few of them in my possession that I kept, but most of them, sadly, are gone. Yeah.
Okay. I think people are trying to cajole us to get to the list. So why don't we do that?
Cajole. All right.
Cajole Bash, my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Who by the way wants to he wants to do a who, what, when game with us against me, but he wants a handicap. He just wants us both to do the song and the artist. And then only he gets the year to guess the year's bonus points. Ooh. So that would be his handicap. Okay. He's usually a little bit off, but he figures that's the only way he's going to beat me is if he gets to get the extra point and I don't.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do one time.
Yeah, we'll have the Bash Brothers.
Yeah.
Which one are you, Jose?
He might be available to be on the show. He loves to talk, so maybe we should try that. But anyway, enough baseball for the moment. we'll now get to the songs. We're going to play one selection or part of a selection from each of my top 25 albums. I would like to point of 2023. I'd like to point out that fortunately I received a lot of stuff last year. Some bands, artists were kind enough to send me things, other things I had to buy. But there were a lot of amazing albums this year. And in fact, and there's not that much of a difference, honestly, between, let's say, number 25 and number 125. There's enough where I can tell, but it's really not that big. And when you get to, let's say, between 75 and 125, virtually nothing. I mean, maybe a song or two here and there was better on the 75, or it just felt better listening. I don't know, but not much difference. There was a lot of stuff, and a lot of great reissues as well.
But here's the thing. These are songs that turned you on and floated your boat and rattled in your head and whatnot. The beauty of it, whether you're number one on the list or whether you're number 150 or 125 or 150 on the list, is you're on a list that a lot of people are checking out from 1 to 150 and finding bands that they weren't familiar with, and they're going to listen to them on Spotify or YouTube or whatever it may be, and they're going to discover this great music. So simply that this list exists from 1 to 150, where you fall it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, and that was the primary, that's always been the primary goal of doing these lists, really, is to turn people on to some excellent music. And who knows, someone may like my number 145 better than my number one. I can already think of one person who does. But
and speaking of number one, I had to make my list, which only was one. So this was my favorite. This is the one that I kept revisiting more and more and more. So here's my number one. David's got a lot more on his list than I do, but it looks like this.
Oh, Gonzalez Smith. Wow. Mr. J. Gonzalez from Drive-By Truckers. Very, very good album by a very nice man, by the way, I should say. That album finished number 69, which episode 95. Number 69 on my list, which again,
I'll tell you what,
finished much higher, just like a lot of things could have.
And the reason that I just have it as my favorite is just for whatever reason, I had to keep going back and listening to it on my walks with Ches, and I just found that this was the one that I kept going back to and listening to over the last few weeks. And the roll-up song is great. Lexington Line I thought was genius. Love songs like Forgetting You, Kiss Is Good, Did We Make Love? Just great stuff. Really good album. Gonzalez Smith.
Yeah, very easy to listen to. Very easy to listen to as opposed to easy listening.
Yeah, very good. But that's my one right there. But it did not fall in David's top 25.
But it did fall on my list. Like I said, number 69. List. Yes.
Which is fun. That's good.
I mean, you know what? He was so nice. Jay was so nice to me. He sent me the record right away. Didn't ask for any money. I found out about it on somebody else's list, actually, or maybe it was on a Power Pop list on Spotify. I can't remember. I looked it up, found out it was Jay, and he and I were Facebook friends already. So I contacted him, and he said, "I'll get one in the mail to you tomorrow." So I'm going to actually go buy the vinyl because he was so nice to send me the CD.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Anyhow.
Anywho,
without further ado, let's get into it. Number 25 is a band that definitely finished better on some people's list. They are definitely the young power pop darlings now of this particular era. Band from New York, led by two brothers, the D'Addario brothers, and I say power pop, but this album was really anything but power pop. It's much softer. It's Everything Harmony by the Lemon Twigs is the album.
Yeah, very
and
good.
It's just replete with very Brian Wilson-esque and Todd Rundgren-esque ballads with lots and lots of flourishes. Just really cool stuff. And I'm going to play. Well, I got it right here, so I'll just do it. The first, here's a track from the album called "Corner of My Eye."
I've got a wonderful feeling. It's right.
Out enough?
For being wrong.
Not over here.
Lately, the Lord's got me kneeling. It's been hard to get along.
Sounding good?
Got you in the corner of my eye. All my moments are the same when day or night. I saw you twice before. Now I really wanna see you more. I played the game of heartbreak. The emptiness remains. But how much loneliness can a man take till he tries to take the reins? But when I've got you in the corner of my eye, all my moments are the same when day or night. I saw you twice before. Now I really wanna see you more.
So that the album's filled with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
like that. And these guys are so young, yet they really have their pulse on that sound.
Yeah.
I heard that their dad, Ronnie D'Addario, is a great singer-songwriter in his own right. Has released several good records, including previously unreleased stuff from the 70s that he did. Finally came out on, I think it was Captured Tracks. And excellent stuff there. So yeah, they had the right pedigree. The apples in this case, since it's brothers, definitely did not fall far from the tree.
It's lush, and I'm a sucker for artists that know what they're doing with layering sounds and harmonies. Just very, very well done. Yeah.
Yeah, these kids
Top
have
to
it
bottom.
going on, and they have a new song out that's much more power pop than this.
Oh.
So I have a feeling that the next album is going to be more power pop oriented.
Yeah.
But you know, they can pretty much do it all. So very cool stuff. Everything Harmony by the Lemon Twigs is the album. Finished number 25 on my list of best albums of 2023. Number 24 is by a band from Oklahoma called The Lunar Laugh, and the album's called In the Black. As you can see, it's pretty black, with a crescent moon on the cover. Main guy, Jared Lakites, very, very cool guy, excellent singer-songwriter. They've played IPO a few times, actually, mostly in Arlington, Texas, because it's not that far from where they live in Oklahoma. It's been rumored to be their final album, and I hope that's not true, because I have a feeling Jared has a lot more great music in him. Here's a track that certainly would describe a lot of us. It's called Born Weird. By the Lunar Laugh.
I love it.
Another chance to make this is knocking at your door. What would it hurt to take this? There won't be any more. We're getting back on track now. Can't stop this if we tried. Feeding upon the passion, the love we thought had died. Once more a break from the norm. Another holiday. No good just sitting idle. There's too much left to say. Something new, something borrowed, something that you never share. The tumble down roads that we follow, our bleeding hearts will lead us there. You're ready for your close-up. They're calling out today. So take this as your gospel. Born weird that we pass away.
Yeah, really cool, sophisticated pop sounds. I think this is their best album, actually. They've had a lot of good ones, but I think this is their peak. And it's on the Great Big Stir label. This is the first of two albums on Big Stir that finished in my top 25. That was number 24, The Lunar Laugh with In the Black on Big Stir Records. Pick that one up, everybody.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Number 23 is Vinyl Only. Yeah. And it's by a gentleman from Scotland named Dan McGeever. As opposed to Jim McGeever from the Honeymooners. Dan McGeever, who's also in a really, really cool band called the Well Green, who have played IPOs several times and hopefully again this year, along with Dan, I hope. It's actually Daniel McGeever, I should say. I have it as Dan. I have to correct that. The album's called Spirals. And yeah, it doesn't help that his name is, or the album title, aren't. Yeah. Neither of them are on the front, but the artwork is very, very cool. And so is the music. He's another balladeer, although there are a couple of power pop songs on here. It's mostly ballads with very unconventional chord structures, but in the best way possible. And
once again, that I discovered him via your list when I was looking at your list the other day and going through things. And I listened to this on Spotify, and I'm gonna have to pick up the album because it's a cool vinyl. So
very, very
that's what
cool.
you do. Listen to this stuff and pick it up. Support these people. Yeah,
here's a track from it called "Lyrics for the Lovers." Daniel McGeever. Definitely has a strong 70s feel.
I tell you, if you put Susan Day and Danny Bonaducci behind him, that could be David Cassidy and the Partridge Family, latter day Partridge Family.
Yeah, definitely latter day, more in the ballad style. Yeah,
yep. Really good.
Great record, and you should check out his band, the Well Green, as well. Yes, it was supposed to wildly shift.
That's really good. I really enjoy that song. I enjoyed listening to the entire album.
Really good record, and I'm hoping that
vinyl only.
Yeah, hopefully he and the Well Green do play IPO Liverpool coming up in May/June. So yeah, Daniel McGeever. The album is called Spirals. It's on You Are the Cosmos and also Pretty Olivia. Couple of Spanish labels, even though they're from Scotland, or he's from Scotland. All right, so you may be wondering, where's the Power Pop Bash? Not the Power Pop Bash, the Power Pop Bash. Well, you're going to start to get it. At number 22 on my list of best of 2023 is a Boston band called the Shanghai Lows. And this album is called Aces, Eights, and Heartbreaks. And it's definitely power pop, girl group oriented. Jen Angora, a lead singer. She's the only girl in the band. Dan Kopko, who's also in a few other Boston bands, namely Watts, which is a very cool kind of glammy band that has also had albums make my list. Anyway, this is their latest on Rumbar Records, a label that's put out a lot of cool stuff. including Brad Marino's album, which barely missed my top 25,
Yeah.
but was certainly a great record. Here we've got a track from the Shanghai Lows called here we go. Monsieur Valentine, and I don't mean Don either, or Ellis,
But
or
Karen,
or Fred, or any other Valentine. Here we go.
I've got a problem, Monsieur Valentine. Go out and find my love and make him change his mind. Monsieur Valentine, find that sweet love divine and make him mine. Oh, Monsieur Valentine, why does he break my heart? Old lengths and promises that leave me in the dark. Monsieur Valentine, find that sweet love sublime and make him mine. The way he walks and talks, his style a work of art. My heart could almost stop the arrow in the mark. Monsieur Valentine, find that sweet love divine.
Anyway, you get the idea. A lot of the rest of the album's a little harder edged, but it's all very melodic power pop.
yeah,
That's one of the softer songs, but really cool stuff.
classic early to mid 60s kind of sound to it.
With
I
some
dig it.
more distorted guitars than they
Yeah.
used back then, of course. But
Yeah. But the
certainly inspired by it. Yeah.
way it rolls, the melody, the vocals, really good. Yeah,
Good
it's a lot of
stuff.
fun.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. Hey, you're right, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Oh,
This is Brian Hart. I just got to say hi, Brian Hartman. I graduated high school with this young man. He is down in Orlando working, as you see, as a tour guide there with Disney.
oh, nice.
Where my daughter is.
Hey, Brian.
He's retired and doing Animal Kingdom tours, which is kind of very cool.
Brian, please say hi to your dad, David. He was great on Lucas Tanner, which also featured Robbie Wrist.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not the first time. I've worn T-shirts. It's been a while, but I actually have lots of T-shirts. I just don't wear them when I do IPO or material issues. But if I'm just around the house or going to some record stores locally, I've been known to wear a T-shirt or two.
What
Definitely.
most people don't know is that he's only wearing a T-shirt. Thankfully, the cameras only catch him from about midsection up.
Well,
sit down.
I got pants. Oh, you can't see. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, his mom is Mary.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of Robbie Wrist, he posted something today about Chuck Negron from Three Dog Night.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize this, but apparently at one time he was having so much sex that his penis exploded in mid-act.
Yes, I heard that.
That gives new meaning to "Mama told me not to come." Huh? Oh my God.
Chuck Negron. He had a Klaatu connection there as well, but yeah.
Oh, what was that? I actually don't know.
Let me get the story straight though. Chuck Negron was part of he was working with Capital A&R with endangered species.
Oh,
And he was behind the fact that it was essentially pulled before it did anything. So he had a little bit of involvement with Capital and what they didn't do with the Klaatu. Yeah. Good one. I guess yeah.
Yes, it wasn't actually. That's the problem.
But
Anyway,
yeah,
let's move on with the list.
I forget where we're at now. We got into Chuck Negron and exploding penises. That doesn't happen very often on the internet.
No, for sure. Man, I'll tell you, if having too much sex causes your penis to explode, mine must be like made out of iron or something. Anyway, at number 21, from I'm trying to remember where these guys are from. Ohio, I believe. Dave Cope and the Sass. Hey, Keith, whose last album was number 1 on my list. Oh God, I'm not going to be able to.
This is not going to end.
I knew I shouldn't have brought it up.
Shambhala.
No,
Lord,
no more, guys. No more jokes, please. I want to do this. I want to be serious now. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Dave Cope and the Sass, whose last album finished number 1 for me in 2022. This one is called Killer Mods from Inner Space, and it was number 21 this year. The last album was so beautiful. Was really beautiful Emmett Rhodes inspired pop. Mm-hmm. This one is more straight ahead power pop, but he is just such a talented tunesmith. And we got a song called "Seemed Like a Good Idea at the Time" from Dave Cope and the Sass. Stop it.
When I should stay, something says go. When I should yes, something says no.
Anyway, yeah, the whole album is filled with a lot of power pop like that. Some even more powerful, but just great, catchy melody. I mean, that song could certainly be on the radio.
Yeah.
Dave Cope and the Sass at number 21 with Killer Mods from Inner Space on Cool Cat, our one of our favorite labels. And there will be more Cool Cat releases in this top 25. Yeah, indeed.
That's good. That's good.
That's
I
a
like
good point.
Yeah,
Brian. It would be good for a musical. Yes. All right. So there we go at number 21. Number 20. We're going to go back to the UK with certainly someone who had made his mark on the punk pop scene in the late 70s, early 80s, when he led the UK band The Boys. This is Duncan Reid and the Big Heads.
Love this album, yeah.
With "And It's Goodbye" from him. This is the first of 2 albums that have "and" as the first word of the title, which means nothing at all. But I thought I'd say it anyway. This certainly has some Boys influence to it, but it's much more in the contemporary power pop mold, and some really cool stuff throughout. And the song I'm going to play from it is called "Funageddon Time." Here we go.
After talking so strong, it grabbed me by the throat. They say she isn't sexy, but she gave me pause. But it was fun
Thank you,
ahead
Matthew.
of time. To not join in would be a crime. Fun ahead of time, all the way. Yeah, fun ahead of time. She rockin' in the Nautilus highs. Fun ahead of time, every day. She led me by the hand, poured us both a shot. It hit me in the head, my body running hot. A sugar rush all over to the land that time forgot. We lost into eternity, but way a blue day. The carnage all around us moved out of our way. A foxtrot had a tea dance in the Waldorf. It was night. It was fun again and time. To not join in would be a crime. Fun again and time, all the way.
I like how they pulled in the Shawadi Wadi
Shawaddy-waddies, yep.
Band, and the band Shawadi Wadi named themselves after that background vocal. So this is he's still got. It's a shame because he said this is it for him. He's retiring.
Wow. I mean, that's that is not the sound of somebody who should be retiring. Man, that's just good. That's really good. That's very boys. You can hear the influence and
Definitely, not quite as punk pop. It doesn't
Not quite as punk,
it doesn't have the jagged edges to it, but you can definitely tell that he kept that ethos with him.
Man, so good.
One cool thing he did is when he was selling this album when it first came out, if you bought it, you got his entire Duncan Reid and the Big Heads catalog absolutely free along with it.
Oh, wow.
So I did that, and I already had most of them, so I gave what I didn't have to Rena, so she was happy. Anyway, Duncan Reid and the Big Heads. Check it out at number 20 on my list, and it's goodbye from him. And it is, unfortunately, goodbye, but he left a nice legacy.
Indeed.
Coming up at number 19 is a band from Chicago who has played IPO there for the last few years. And I can hear that.
Yeah, I get it.
And they'll be playing it again. And I'm hoping they come to Liverpool because I think they would go over well. And it's apropos that I was wearing this Cheap Trick styled power pop shirt because this band is named Rolling Numbers. And we know that's where they got it, from Surrender. And the album is called Killer Machines. And it's really good. In some ways, it reminds me of Fleetwood Mac a little bit. It's a man and woman lead, Bob Basilou and Jessica Hornstein, husband and wife, and main members of this band. And the songs are, they're very 70s inspired, kind of, in a little bit in that easy listening vein, but with some edge as well. And here's one from it called Best of Luck. Yeah, really catchy song. I love the minor chords. Yeah, I didn't actually select that one, Matthew. They did, but I definitely was with them on the one that they chose for the IPO comp. But there are a lot of great songs on this album, and
Yeah,
that's
the production it really harkens back to me, late '70s kind of production
that's what
sound.
they're
I
going for.
love it. I love it. Yeah,
That's
really
what
good.
they're going for. Killer Machines by Rolling Numbers.
Good
Really cool
stuff.
Chicago band at number 19 on my best of 2023. We should be introducing our special previously unannounced guests, but I only see one of them in the queue right now. So Mr. B, if you're listening, get in the queue so I can pull you up.
We are lacking the rack.
So until he does, we'll move on with the list. This is probably the most fascinating entry in my top 25.
I would say yes to that. Yeah,
for sure. It's something that came completely out of left field a few years ago. Band, oh, there he is. We'll just play one more song and then we will bring you guys up. Yeah, there you go. Yes. Well, here you have it. So people have pulled up my list apparently, but here it is. The Guess Who with Plein d'Amour. I'm sure d'amour means is some derivation of love. I'm not sure what Plein is, but this is the Guess Who, but it's the Guess Who more or less in name only, because the only original member is drummer Gary Peterson. Along with him are younger guys. They're not young, but younger than the rest of the Guess Who. And this does not sound anything like No Time or American Woman or These Eyes or anything else the Guess Who did back in their day. This is definitely kind of Yes meets Jellyfish. Klaatu fans would like this a lot also. Very sophisticated pop. And here's a track from it called Across the Line.
Is the moon in your sky sleeping well tonight? Did the sun take a break yesterday? I'm trying hard just to find the words I want to say. I'm in need of a parachute. I'm falling faster than the speed of sound. Down, the world is spinning upwards from the ground. Down, and the words are really hard to say. I would like to believe that this could be guaranteed, and I want you to know that you can always count on me. Yes, I just wanted to say I'm falling in love. I'm walking across the line.
This is one of those, this configuration of the Guess Who is one of those bands that some power pop fans resent because they're way too pro. Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that doesn't bother me. I mean, I think they're incredibly talented, the great singers, great players.
I'll tell you, to me, it's really good. It's very Canadian, though. I mean, it's like
Yeah, well,
it's like I mean, and they are very Canadian, but there's just something about a Canadian sound. To me, it like harkens to Prism and
right.
some of those kind of bands.
And I hear some Klaatu in there too.
Oh, sure, you hear the Klaatu. It's something about the production. Yeah, Keith would know. It definitely hits the Klaatu thing. Good, yeah.
Yeah, the whole album is like that, Keith. You definitely will not be disappointed. A lot of people are off put by the name. They're saying, "Well, it's not the Guess Who." You're right. It's not the Guess Who. So what? Just buy the record. If you like the music, don't worry about their name. Just buy the record and enjoy the music, and forget that they're. And here's the funny story about that: Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman had a chance to buy the rights to the name The Guess Who. They let it lapse. They didn't bother. And then Gary Peterson got it out from under them. And he has every right to use the name. They can't do a damn thing about it. And, you know, again, they could have, and they chose not to. And now they're pissed off that he's using it. Well, they really shouldn't be.
Yeah. It's
But
really
whatever.
it's a really good album, and
It
it's
really
just
is. Whatever their name is, it's a really good record.
the Guess Whom.
A plain d'Amour on on their namesake label. It's on the Guess Who records.
Nice.
Or Guess Who
Nice.
recordings. All right, so we're going to interrupt at number 8. We're going to interrupt at number 18 to bring on a couple of very good friends who have
We've got guests.
put out.
Yeah.
Yes, we have some guests who put out a really fine digital EP in honor of the late great Denny Lane. Of course, we all know Denny Lane as one of the founding members of the Moody Blues. He then left that band, and they then did the configuration that we're most used to. But ultimately, he joined up with Paul McCartney and Wings, and played on and wrote some very fine songs for Paul McCartney and Wings. I've never met him, but everybody who has said he was such a nice guy, and you can tell by the photos and the videos that he's been in that he really was. And he tragically passed away a few months ago. But our good friends John Borak and Michael Simmons, Pop Dudes, decided to put out the 4 songs that Denny Lane wrote and sang on. And you can pick this EP up online. Maybe they'll give us they'll tell us where to go get it. But without further ado, let's bring on our good friends John Borak and Mr. Michael Simmons.
Hey,
good evening, gentlemen.
hello.
And
Sorry,
John's got the music and Mike's got the guitars.
Yeah,
behind him.
sorry.
Thank God I'm not a musician. With all the money I spend on everything else, could you imagine if I was addicted to guitars? Oh my God! The money you guys spent on guitars.
Those aren't even my guitars. I wouldn't be caught dead playing any of those.
Oh, really? Oh, where are you now?
I'm in my classroom right now. I'm just in the middle of rehearsals, and I thought I'd come talk to you guys.
Those aren't my CDs either.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be caught dead playing.
Those are Mike's CDs. Those are my guitars.
No.
Sorry for the listless interruptus that we're causing here, David, in the middle of the list, but
We're happy to have you.
We're happy to have you.
Great stuff so far, man. Just really impressed by
Isn't that something? Everything has just been wonderful. This is just top 25, and as you know, there's 125 others that we're not going to be talking about tonight that are just as worthy. So wow, good year in music. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of bands out there. The people who are out there saying there's no good music, they obviously they're just clueless, unfortunately, and they're not looking in the right place. So,
yeah, indeed.
And these are the same people who who love the kind of music that we do from the 70s. So they would like a lot of what's happening in the current pop scene. No doubt about it. But anyway, we don't need to talk about that. We should talk about what these gentlemen have done for Denny Lane. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about this EP?
Well, I'll let Mike tell you most of it because it was his idea. We're both huge Wings fans, Beatles fans. That's one of the many things that we sort of bonded over when we first met, actually. That and our mutual love of ELO, although Mike is far more of an ELO nut than I am. But after Denny passed, Mike sent me a message and said we need to do something to honor Denny and do a couple of some of his Wings songs. And I was all for it because whenever Mike says let's record something, I'm always like, yeah. You never know when that moment might just be gone. So I went over and tracked some drums, and Mike can tell you about the rest.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great. It's real noisy here, so I didn't know. Well, when George Harrison passed, whenever that was, 2002 or whatever, I just remember that day just being at work and just it being a real bummer, or a real drag, as Paul would say. And when I went home that night, I decided, I'm just gonna record one of George's songs, and I did that. And it made me feel better. It just kind of surrounded me with the music and all the things that I really loved about him. And then I stopped thinking about him being gone so much, just more just celebrating the work. So when Denny died, I thought the same thing, because I've been, ever since the George thing, that's kind of what I do. If somebody that's important to me leaves, I usually go home and track some, or at least perform one of their songs in some fashion.
Yeah.
So I said, John, this is, he's always pestering me to work on Pop Dudes things. And we dip into the Wings well more often than any other place, obviously. It's just kind of because we want to. So it seemed like an obvious thing to do. And I said, well, let's do some. And I didn't even bother to look at the catalog and try to figure out like the ones or the best ones or whatever. I just, off the top of my head, was like, we could do this and that. And we just were texting. Okay. And then he came over and he just went and played drums on a bunch of songs. And I think one of them he'd never even tried before. Most of them he hadn't tried. And then he said, well, we could do this other one too. And okay. So we just did it. And I just threw it together in a few days. We also got some help from one of our students and one of John's bandmates who's a student of mine. He's actually here right now. I forgot to tell him about this. I forgot. I just saw my alarm and ran in here. If he happens to walk by, I'll grab him. But he did a little bit of vocal on Spirits of Ancient Egypt and a couple guitar parts. And also Addison Love, another former student / bandmate of both of ours from the Yorktown Lads and his own solo material. He sang on one and did some guitar parts for us too. So that was fun.
The young man that Mike's talking about is Stephen Alva, and he plays guitar and sings in our in the Beatles cover band that I'm in, Let It Be. Yeah. And he's such a talented young man. I mean, he can play guitar, he can sing, he plays harmonica on Time to Hide on this Denny Lane EP. When we play live, he plays saxophone when we do Lady Madonna and Savoy Truffle. I mean, there's nothing he can't do. He's like a little Junior Simmons. It's really cute.
The Spirits of Ancient Egypt was really an inspired choice, by the way.
That was the one
in his talent, in his canon, for sure.
That was the one that we didn't plan on doing. Mike gave me a list of some different ones and kind of said, I don't really want to do this one. I'd like to do this one. And I said, what about Spirits of Ancient Egypt? He said, I hadn't even thought of that one. And then we just literally went in. Mike made a track for me to drum to. I went in and tracked the drums, and we ended up doing it. Steven sings on it. I think it turned out really well. I was very, very happy with it.
I think there's a couple that we'd thought of, and we're like, I think Deliver Your Children was one I considered for a second, then one other one, and I can't remember what it was.
The Note You Never Wrote? Was that?
We did that. That was the first one I thought of, and I'm like, that's the one I want.
There it is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to do really bad. And then I said we need to do No Words because that's what everyone's going to expect to see. And John goes, oh, man, I don't really know that. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like the biggest Wings record of all time. He goes, well, I had the singles on for that album when it came out. I never listened to the album that much. And I was like,
really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the song, but knowing the song and knowing how to play the song are two completely different things. And even though, I also had never played again and again and again, I was familiar enough with the drum parts to be able to go in there and do it. But I wasn't that familiar with No Words, and of course, that's the one everyone's picked up on. Chris Carter played it last week on Breakfast with the Beatles on KLOS, which is, Mark, for you, I know David knows this.
Yep. The
biggest rock station in LA. They got huge listenership, and it was online. And then he also played it yesterday on Sirius XM on his Breakfast with the Beatles show. So there you go.
Yeah.
All people that don't stream, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That are still doing
where
that.
Can people go to purchase this?
Yeah, where's that?
Well, I think I know for sure that if you want to just buy it straight up, I know it's on Bandcamp. It's probably on Apple Music. It's probably on Amazon, and all streaming on all those places as well. Yeah. I'm not positive if it's on the Big Stir Records website or not. It's just one of those things where Big Stir is super busy getting all these major releases out, and just being related to the label as we are, I kind of slid this one under the radar very quickly. Oh, by the way, and So we haven't really done the full or any promotional action for this record. It's just something we wanted to put out into the world. So made it and got it out there, and it is what it is, and it is where it is at this point.
Yeah. It's also on Spotify.
Yeah,
by
I
the
was
way,
going
as
to
well.
say, if people are at Spotify, Bandcamp, Amazon, what do they type in to find it?
Pop Dudes.
Pop Dudes.
It's under
Okay.
Michael Simmons on Bandcamp.
It is. That is true. We don't
Yeah,
have our
but
own
if you
page
type
yet.
in Pop Dudes anywhere, you can find it even
find
on
it, right,
Bandcamp.
okay.
It just
It's on the
Thanks.
YouTubes as well.
All right,
It's
so
all
then-
over. So, but
Well,
it's
people ought to
fun.
go do. People ought to go do that and pay homage to one of the best singer songwriters that rock and roll has seen. Played second fiddle to Paul, of course, but so being second to him is no disgrace.
well,
Yeah.
without Denny, there would have been no Wings, or at
There's
least not the
that
way
too.
that we know it, and so it would have been a lot different. And we just love that music. And in Pop Dudes, we really only do music that we love because it means a lot to
Right.
us. And then with
Unless
Denny,
someone asks us to.
unless someone asks us to, which is usually unless someone pesters us. Is that the word we were using? Pester.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Pester.
Anyway, we just love it. Wanted to pay tribute to Denny, and we hope people like it.
Yeah, so definitely go there. Go click, type in Pop Dudes or Michael Simmons on Bandcamp and purchase it. Or if you just want to stream it, they mentioned all the places where it is.
Yeah.
So definitely
And
go
you'll-
do that. And while you're here, Mike, of course, you had my number one compilation covers album with in your band Sparkle Jets with Best of Friends, also on Bidster.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Great job. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
all.
I love it. I bought the test pressing from you.
There,
I had
there you
that.
go.
I don't do that
that's
for
true.
every album.
No, Eddie Finley's getting it now on Bandcamp.
I figured you knew it, did it for everybody that you could, but not every album, not every artist sells their test pressings.
No, I wish they would. Because I'd be all
We had a
over.
lot of them, so we were like, oh, what the hell. But the next album we have coming out, they only gave us a few, and they're already at home with the bandmates, so there's no spares to go around.
Man.
But you'll hear more about that next summer. But as far as Pop Dudes, we've also we did a similar thing where we gathered up about, I don't know, a couple dozen tracks we had laying around, and just about a month and a half ago, just kind of put it out without saying much. And so there's a number of things, and our older comp from from John's book, the Shake Some Action Volume 2 or the reissue, whatever it was.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of Pop Dudes stuff out there now. So we've kind of cleared the decks on a bunch of our material, which is kind of fun. We do those things to please ourselves. I don't expect anyone else to listen to them, but there's some folks that kind of enjoy listening to covers. So
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
No, I mean, and especially on the Sparkle Jets when paying homage to all
Yeah.
the LA bands who I know and love. So it was, for me, it resonated quite well.
Yeah, we thought that would be a fun way to get it. It's kind of here's the thing. And okay, now that you've reminded me, and I don't want to be bone picky about this, but I guess you've made it really obvious, so I can. When I came up with the idea to do Best of Friends, well, first of all, it was the whole band's idea like 20 years ago. Not getting into that story. One of the reasons I thought of it again and asked about doing it, reviving the idea, was because I was just thinking about how it sucks that since the Beatles came with their original songs and made it de rigueur for an artist to write all their own material, because let's face it, previous to the Beatles, that wasn't really a thing. It happened, but it was rare. And it used to be where you'd get signed, you're a singer, say, and you just and still is for a lot of people, you're a singer, you get signed, and the label goes, here's our back catalog, or here's our staff writers, our song catalog, pick what you want and do it. And it's not like Glenn Campbell wrote all of his tunes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Your web. Yeah.
I appreciate being number one, but on the other hand, I don't consider our album a covers album per se. It's an album. I knew that guys like you, because you know me and you know us and you know the bands, are gonna go, oh, it's an album full of covers by bands. We were hoping that regular normies, regular people would go, hey, there's this band and this is great. They made this great album, and they'll probably never even know that we didn't write them all. Not that it matters, because it really shouldn't. It's a little different when Pop Dudes does a bunch of really famous songs and it's a covers album, or Juliana Hatfield does songs of ELO or whatever.
But
that is what it is. But Best of Friends really is just an album that we didn't happen to write all the songs.
Yeah, but
on.
don't you give credit to the songwriters on it?
Well, doesn't everybody?
Well, yeah. So it's. Oh, I see. So you could have just been a band who recorded songs that people wrote but never recorded themselves.
That doesn't matter if they did or not, David. The only difference is if you open up our album, we actually are honest about it. We talk about it and we show those bands in the inner sleeve. If it wasn't for that, you would never know, and it would just be like any album that you ever bought by an artist or a band that just had songwriters or a songwriting stable and didn't write their own stuff. Which
on the other hand, though,
a lot of people.
On the other hand, had I treated it as a proper album,
I would have made number 850.
Number 215, so no one would have known.
Oh, come on. I would call bullshit on you, but I'm knowing you probably did figure it out, and it was 250.
No, it wouldn't have been anywhere near that.
Hopefully it would have been a little better than that.
It would have done great.
The weird thing about this is, you guys don't know this, but speaking of what Mike said, we actually called our latest Pop Dudes EP the Denny Lane EP, because Denny Lane used to be a member of Pop Dudes. Mike actually wrote No Words and The Note You Never Wrote, but we didn't know anybody would know that. So we just
little things you find out here on Material Issues.
Simmons-esque, yeah. Now that you mention it. Well, anyway, guys, we gotta run. We gotta finish the rest of this list.
Oh yeah, the world is waiting.
They are.
By all means.
You know what, Mike? Our world is waiting. That's all I care about.
I'm going to go back to the normies, and
the rest of the world can go screw off as far as.
By the way, in case anyone wants to know, what the students here are doing is we're putting together a gigantic ELO show right now. That's It's cool. Not really. It's actually a Jeff Lynne career retrospective. So there's some Idle Race songs and some Move songs, and
are you going to do "Hold On Tight" by ELO?
Unfortunately, yes, we are doing the Coffee Generations theme song.
Right on.
I can't guarantee it will be good, but we're also doing some really crazy. We're doing like Words of Aaron, and I Can Hear the Grass Grow, which is the only non-Jeff Lynne song in the show.
Wow. I hope you're doing Tonight or Chinatown.
I wish we were, and I really want to, but one of them is about, whores, and the other one is kind of racist and about whores. But I love those two songs. Obviously, I recorded one of them. Yeah. I put out way too many covers, haven't I? I've put out too many cover things. Everyone's gonna think that's what I do now.
They're just songs that other people wrote for you.
Thank you, David. Nice. That's good.
Mike, I hope you're enjoying your final appearance on Material Issues.
I know, right? Every time he's come on, I'm like, what are they gonna ask me? So I'm used to being on those shows where I'm the nice one and everyone else in the show is a total dick. So I appreciate you guys being nice. And David, I hope you come see the show. Trust me, it'll be worth your time. So it's, I think, February 2nd and 3rd.
Oh, that's doable.
Yeah. So just letting you know in case you're here.
Nice.
John usually is here, so it's all good.
Now
Thank you, John.
got the personal invite. Anyway, thanks so much, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
And check out the EP and everyone, and we'll see you soon.
All right. We appreciate
guys.
it.
Have a great one. Thanks, John. Thanks, Mike.
Later.
Cool.
All right. That was fun.
Good stuff. Always nice. Nice to see Mike, and always nice to have John on the show. And get out there to Bandcamp and Spotify and Amazon and look up Pop Dudes.
Yes, indeed.
Download the Denny Lane EP. Great stuff. Where are we at now with this list? I forget. We're somewhere around
number 17 with a band who has, this is the only band, I think, in this millennium to have 2 #1 albums, or finish #1 in 2 different years. And that would be Mothboxer, the band led by the affable Mr. Dave Odie from Maidenhead, UK.
Yeah.
In 2010 and 2013, they finished #1. And this album didn't quite finish #1, but it did finish number 17. Mothboxer were those really great chord changes, certainly some XTC influence, all kinds of different pop sounds. This album is called Breathe, and here it is. Self-released by Mr. Odie, as all of them are. And here's a song from it called All the Things.
How many times can you stick to the lines you've written on your hand? The same old thing, and the people sting back at you in this land. But there are some of all the crazy, hazy folks I don't understand, who seem to like nothing more than a reckless, headless ragtime band. I don't know your name. Now we're standing in the rain. Say it once again. Maybe I'll remember when the sun was out, the clouds are gone, and all the things were right. Have you ever stopped to think about the time you stopped to think about me? I didn't think so, it's been so long, and I know you'll never let it be.
Yeah, so I love his chord changes. You know, like I said, obviously inspired by Andy Partridge. And
Yep. Wow.
I certainly, I don't know if it was because of the piano or the production sound, but I certainly heard some Beach Boys era, Sunflower, a little Smile going on in there too.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of I think late 60s, early 70s kind of sound to it. There's obviously Beatlesque.
Yeah,
As you said, XTC, Andy Partridge. The production has that kind of. There's just something to it that makes you harkens back to that. Really
definitely
good
check
stuff.
out Mothboxer online. They have tons of great albums, and their
Really
first
do.
one, their first and their third were #1 for me in 2010 and 2013 respectively. And since then, their albums have always done well. Almost all have been in the top 20. So yeah, this is their latest one, Breathe, at number 17 on my best of 2023 albums. Coming up at number 16, vinyl only, as far as I know, by a band from Portland called, oops, God, I got it. Please don't pull the paper off. No, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it did pull a little paper off the back. I hate when that happens, when the sticky CD case gets caught on here on a record. Here is the Reverberations from Portland, Oregon, and their album's called Half Remembered Dreams, and it's on the great label out of Stockholm called Beluga Records.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Trevor of Beluga. And you know, this is the band's led by Mr. Dave Burkham. Very, you know, a little garage, a little psychedelic pop going on. Just great 60s inspired stuff. And here's a song from it called Doctor Please.
Happens every night when I lay down my weary head. I toss and turn and can't sit still while lying in my bed. These depressions and obsessions are distracting me so much. So can you help prescribe me something to help me with my crutch? Doctor, please, can't you see I'm in need of your attention? I don't know how, but I'm here now. I'm in the fourth dimension.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Doctor, please, can't you see I'm in need of your attention? I don't know how, but I'm here now. I'm in the fifth dimension.
Yeah, so the whole album's filled with 60s psychedelic garage inspired ditties like that.
Yeah, really, really good.
Very cool band. Hope to get them to IPO sometime. The Reverberations and Half Remembered Dreams, LP only, as far as I know, on Beluga Records. And here's our last album at number 15 coming up. This is our last vinyl only record in the top 25. Just Like Achilles by Pete Molinari. Pete is an English gentleman who has moved to LA, but still tours Europe quite a bit. He's actually had I didn't know about him until recently, but he's had quite a few albums out over the years, and they're all different. This one is probably his most power poppy, which is why it did as well as it did. It's, what is the name of the label? Blind Faith Records. And here's a song from it called I'll Take You're There, I believe it is. No, it's I'll Take You There. I thought that was a little play on words, but somebody made a mistake. I guess me. Here we go.
What kind of game is that now that you play? Come on, won't you kiss and tell? I seem very strange now that you're changing. Time goes very slow. Occasionally you'll see I have no particular place to go. Maybe I believe only the lonely. Maybe I believe that you care. Maybe I believe you want me only. And maybe I'll take you there. And maybe I'll take you there.
Definitely inspired by Bobby Fuller in many ways. Although the
Very
whole
much so, yeah.
the album is a little bit more straight ahead power pop, but I picked that song because it's something snappy. What can I tell you? And it's a really, really good record. He actually had one that came out officially this album came out in November of 2022. But as I explained on my list, I always give 2 months. There's got to be 2 months lead time because it's impossible to find out about these albums when they come out.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to rank it in 2022 because I didn't know about it yet. So I try to appeal to my good sense and give a little bit of leeway. He actually had another album come out in November of 23, which is a little bit more soulful, but I haven't had a chance to absorb it yet. So we'll see how it does when I rank it in 2024. But anyway, that's Pete Molinari, Just Like Achilles.
Yeah, really good. When the pre-chorus comes in and gets into the chorus, it's just beautiful.
Nice,
It
yeah.
raises you up. It's really good.
Number 15 on
Love
my
it.
list of best of 2023. Moving on to number 14, and this is unfortunately a very sad story. The album is by a band called Justine and the Unclean, and it's called The Signal Light, and it's on Red Records. Red on Red was a label owned by Justine as well. Tragically, she passed of a heart attack a few months ago. We paid tribute to her in November at IPO Boston by doing a Red on Red Records night. So several of the acts, either on the label or affiliated with it, came by and did sets. One of her second in command, I guess you would call, is Anklin Dan, who helped me put that show together. He's with Red on Red as well. This is a really, really good power pop record, and I would highly recommend it. Here's a song called Vengeance from the album. Yeah, really cool
Yeah.
girl power pop. I hear a little Stones influence in there on that particular track.
Yeah.
They were an
That's
excellent band, and it's just tragic that we lost her at such a young age. But her legacy will live on through her music and through the Red on Red label. So
Indeed.
at number 14, Justine and the Unclean with the Signal Light.
Really good
All
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Number 13 is somebody who kind of like Duncan Reed with the Boys. This gentleman was around in the late 70s as well, Arthur Alexander. He had his bands The Poppies, one of the first signings to Bomp Records.
Yeah.
And then Sorrows, who had 2 albums on Columbia, both of which were re-recorded. Well, not entirely re-recorded, but some of the elements of the tracks were re-recorded the way Arthur felt that the records should have come out. The records should have come out. They did. The band did not like the Columbia issues. Columbia's engineers messed with it, and without the band knowing, and consequently, the 2 albums didn't come out the way he wanted. But the remixes, the re-recordings are amazing, and they're on Big Stir Records. As is this album by Arthur Alexander called "Steppin' Out." And where did my screen go? I just clicked on the wrong thing. Okay. So anyway, this is on Big Stir, great record. And here's an album called It's Not Love Anymore, number 2.
Remember the nights of sweet embrace. Remember the love nothing could replace. You thought you'd never lie. I thought I'd never cry. Bye-bye. It's not love anymore. Remember how we listened to each other's heart. Remember how we said nothing would break us apart. Now you count the reasons why, and I count the years gone by. Bye-bye, bye-bye, it's not love anymore.
Yeah, very. You can tell. I definitely hear some poppies in what he's doing on this particular track. So, yeah, his roots have never left him, and he still plays live quite a bit with a band, and he still rocks. And
I remember seeing the Sorrows not that long ago at Roxy and Duke's Roadhouse with Robbie Rist playing bass in the band.
yeah, Robbie has played in a few configurations of the new Sorrows. Sorrows also played IPO in New York.
Yeah.
Arthur Alexander, good guy, excellent singer,
Good guy,
songwriter, and
Great
musician,
album.
and a really good record on Big Stir Records.
Nice.
That's right, stepping out! Exclamation point. Step out and buy it. Absolutely. All right, that was number 13. Number 12 is
As we
somebody.
approach the top 10, we're getting there. Oh,
We're getting to the top 10, everyone.
Kasem Dick Clark crossed and had
Yes.
a baby, and it's David
Please
Back.
stick around here. We really want you to stay. At number 12 is somebody who goes all the way back to the beginnings of IPO in Los Angeles, a man from Oakland, California, K.C. Bowman,
Nice.
and his
Yeah,
album
this is good.
Crushes of Context. And yeah, I mean, the title tells it all because he's very much a wordsmith. He loves playing with words, lots and lots of puns in his lyrics. And his melody writing is delightful. It really is. Here's a song on it called Beaker Savage, whatever that means. This may very well be his best record.
Yep.
It's one song after another, just more and more of that kind of delightful pop with the playful lyrics, playfully pun-filled lyrics.
Mhm.
And you know, he's done lots of projects over the years. Preoccupied Pipers, Agony Ants, who came all the way to Liverpool to play IPO one year.
Nice.
He's also part of another great band called Corner Laughers. He's not the main member, but he's in the band. So he wears a lot of hats, but this is his latest album. K.C. Bowman, Crushes of Context, on his own Timber Trout Records, finishing at number 12 on my best of 2023.
One of my favorites of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Coming in at number 11 is a band who we had as guests on Material Issues a few months ago. One of the upstart young bands on the Gem Records label. That's right. It's the Midnight Callers.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
here they are with their second album, Rattled Humming Heart. Just power pop all the way. And these young guys definitely know their 70s power pop. You can hear it in everything they do. And
Top
here's
to
a
bottom.
track from the album called Girl on the Run.
Good stuff, man.
There are two touchstones in power pop. You'll hear this in so many different contemporary power pop songs. Yeah, definitely up your alley. The Be My Baby drum beat.
Yep.
You hear that in so many power pop songs. And also that opening, that Getting Better opening. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So many bands use that, and I'll never object because I love both those songs, and you know those particular segments will live on. Another thing about that particular track, the chorus reminded me so much of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers during their power pop days. Great young band, another great record. I loved their first one as well. May they live on. A big shout out to Marty Scott of Gem Records for signing these guys. But we know he has really good taste, so no big surprise. At number 11 for 2023 for me, the Midnight Callers, Rattled Humming Heart. Pick it up on Gem Records on CD or vinyl.
It's all killer, no filler, as the DJs used to say. It really is top to bottom. Every track there is fantastic.
All right, so now we got the top 10. Yes.
Top 10. Here we go. Top 10 of 2023.
It's really an arbitrary number. I mean,
it is.
What's the difference between number 11 and number 10? Maybe less than number 10 and number 9. I mean, it's just a number, but people love round numbers. So here we go.
Look at that. Two people with the Rattled Humming Heart is number 1.
Absolutely. Great record. Here's one that kind of maybe fell below a few people's radars. I think the name of the band didn't help. It's not all that identifiable. Another great Cool Cat release by SLD. And the album's called Like Sunshine. And it's mainly two guys, Paul Costanza and Tom Parisi. Tom unfortunately passed away, also tragically passed away a few months ago. but they were able to finish this record. Paul is the main singer-songwriter, and it's just really lovely pop stuff. And here's a song called A Perfect Day. The whole album is filled with that sort of Chris Von Snyder and Emmett Rhodes inspired pop. It's one that I don't think too many people have heard. Yeah. Again, SLD, I'm not even sure what that means. It's just not. It's not a band name that's going to stick out in any way. And the cover is pretty nondescript as well, so I don't think that helped. But the music is great. Trust me when I say that. And obviously you can check it out for yourself on streaming services. But I just love this record. I'm really glad I gave it the chance that I did. SLD, Like Sunshine on Cool Cat Records, finishing at number 10.
Yep, our good friend Ray Gianchetti putting out a lot of great stuff.
He always does. Cool, and he's starting out the year, by the way, I should say, with two fabulous releases. Armchair Oracles from Norway with what is it called again? Oh, Nothing Ever Is, but one word. Yeah. So there's that, and this will definitely finish in my top 10 in 2024. There is no doubt about it.
Wow!
I don't know
already.
I can already tell there's no way or 10 other things going to beat this. Here's another great record from our good friends. Oh, Sounds Like Digging. Okay, well, I'm not sure what that is. That meaningful?
That doesn't help me.
Maybe it is in some way that I'm missing, but
wow.
Anyhow,
okay, cool.
Emperor Penguin with their new record, Gentlemen Thieves, also on Cool Cat, band from the UK. They play IPO Liverpool quite often, and big shout out. One of their members, Nigel Winfield, checks in with us every now and then from the UK. I don't know if he's here now. Nigel, if you're here, please identify yourself. But these records, I don't know if they're actually officially out yet, but they're definitely out this month on Cool Cat. I think they are available now. So definitely go over to the Cool Cat website and pick these up. Anyway, let's move back to the countdown at number 9. And this is a gentleman who, along with Brad Marino, who we mentioned earlier, were part of a great New Hampshire collective called The Connection. And I think they were produced by Kurt Baker, who also had an album make my best of list this year and has put out some tremendous records over the year, including one that did finish number 1 for me one year. I think 2011 it was. This is Jeff Palmer, and his album's called An Otherwise Negative Situation on the great label Stardom Records. I really have to thank them very, very much for all the great music they put out. They also put out Local Drags, which did well on my list, number 33, I believe. Anyway, Jeff Palmer definitely worships at the altar of the Ramones and other great punk pop artists, but with a little bit more of a power pop feel to what he does. This is probably one of the softer tracks on the album and one of the most melodic, but it's all great. Anyway, this track's called Stuck With You.
took you to like foreign news. They should hold away from me, nothing to you. I run the flush beats for a kind. Nothing I can do, my hand to die. I'm stuck with you.
That's
Just-
really good.
It's as
Yeah.
catchy as it gets. The whole album is just filled with catchy stuff. Some of which is a little bit punkier, but you know, it's all power pop.
Now, when you got a pop song with hand claps in the chorus, you gotta
Yeah.
love it. Yeah,
That's
Wow.
great stuff. And again, big thank you to Stefan Teese for Sounds Like 70s
Mhm.
of Stardom for all the stuff that he's released and will release, I'm sure. He has great musical taste. Excellent record at number 9, An Otherwise Negative Situation by Jeff Palmer. Check it out.
That's a good
Number
good
8.
bunch of stuff.
Number 8 is a band from Nashville called Dungeons of Skeletons, and the album is called Patterns. And it's basically the Klein family. Justin Klein being the main man of the band, who else is there? Audrey Klein, Emily Klein, Tyler Klein, and Connor Klein. And now those could all be fake names like Ramon, but
I was going to say, if not, that's a TLC show to begin with, right away.
I have a feeling they're not. I have a feeling this is an actual family, but Justin is the main guy. And this is also some really melodic power pop stuff that I'm sure people here would love. And here's a track from it called Turn the Key.
I wanna help you off the floor. I wanna shake you to your core. 'Cause in the grand scheme of things, love is all we need to bring. I wanna hear you sing your songs. I wanna watch you right the wrongs. In the grand scheme of things, love is all we need to bring. There's a light illuminating through all the dark and brokenness inside of you. It's a love that's pure and true, and begging you to start anew. So turn the key and come on through.
The whole album's filled with catchy stuff like that. You know who else it reminds me of? Another guy from the Tennessee area, David Brookings.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
So it must
I-
be in the waters of Tennessee. Well, he lives a couple of miles from me now, but initially he lived in Memphis. But this is really good stuff.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think they're probably all related, because when you hear the various vocal backgrounds and things, they all kind of sing with that mild entry. It's like
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
I'm
and,
sure they are. I'm sure they all are related. I'll have to ask Justin about
that's
that. But
good question. Yeah.
really good record.
Yeah.
Check it out. At number 8 on my list of best of 2023, Dungeons of Skeletons is the name of the band, and the record's called Patterns. So look out for that one.
And I got to say right now, I know what's coming up in the next 7, and boy, it would be tough to top these next 7 straight in a row here. Boy, these are good, really good albums coming up.
They really
yeah.
are. I mean, and I can say that because I didn't record them. I just really love them. The number 7 artist needs no introduction to anybody listening here. Roger Joseph Manning Jr., who's been a guest of ours on Material Issue and who people have known for years and years and years from his work with Jellyfish and Imperial Drag and TV Eyes and so many other projects, including his great solo records from the past 15 years. Now, you're not going to see this one on too many lists, and the reason for that isn't because of the quality of the music, but some people really didn't see this as an album. Because what it is a combination of 2 EPs, Radio Days, which had not been previously released, and that's why it's the main title of the album, and Glamping, which had come out in 2022, and it appends live tracks, which actually, and I'm really bummed that it didn't say this, but the live tracks are from the show that Roger did at IPO LA in 2018.
Oh wow!
But they're from Molly Malone's, and it's But I spoke with Chris Price, who played on the record, and he said these songs were all recorded in the same sessions, the Radio Days and Glamping. It just so happened he released an EP first, but they really should be a proper album.
Yeah.
So you've got those tracks and you've got the live tracks, and it's all excellent. And I will play you a track from it right now called I'm Starting a Band. Starting. Here we go. I'm starting the song.
Can't hear your message on my frequency. Gone blind from glaring mediocrity. Too dumb to comment on society. Would seem like such hypocrisy to me. Too deaf, I just don't hear a melody. I'm so tired, I don't feel like dancing to your beats. My heart, it wants so bad to throw a fit, to lose itself in passionate sweet revelry. Just once, I'd like to feel like I belong, inspired to sing just one damn song. If given chance could bring me to tears, ooh, or laugh at just one joke from funny girl who's scathing word about the world would surely make me think about things.
It's really cheeky because you see a title like I'm starting a band and you figure it's got to be a rocker, right? Maybe even an over-the-top rocker as a joke, but no. It's as you can see, it's a beautiful ballad, which of course Roger Joseph Manning Jr. is very well known for.
One of the best.
Some people may not see this as a legitimate album, but I do, and Chris Price, who played on it, does, and I imagine so does Roger. So that's how I grouped it, and I imagine that everybody here either has it or knows of it, but if you don't have it, you should pick it up. The live tracks are really cool also. Roger Joseph Manning Jr., Radio Days and Glamping on our best friends, Omnivore Recordings, home of the IPO CDs. So check that out at number 7.
Wow.
All right. Coming up at number 6.
This next one took me by surprise, man.
It really took a lot of people by surprise. I was glad to have this gentleman play IPO Liverpool last year, and hopefully he'll do it again this year. My favorite album on the Cool Cat label in 2023.
Cool Cat again.
We live in strange times, and indeed we do. But this record is not strange at all. It is a Birds fan's paradise, and the first track on it is called The Last Chime, and boy does it chime, and here we go.
Lies away of letting you know when to hold on and when to let go. Real love will last a lifetime. Real love will hear the last chime. Lies away of making you feel everything's great and life is surreal. Real love will last a lifetime. Real love will hear the last chime.
Yeah, the whole album's filled with that chimey, birdsy, languorous pop. This gentleman is certainly one of Manchester's finest, and like I said, I really hope to see him again at IPO this year.
Yeah, that's good.
Invitations go out next week. we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we've got this amazing record. We Live in Strange Times on the Cool Cat label. E&M Bailey, check it out.
And we have a lot of things on Cool Cat. And just if you're not that familiar, it's Cool Cat with K's. So KOOLKAT.
MUSIK.
MUSIK. Coolcatmusic.com.
Coolcatmusic.com. Not only, if you go there, not only will you find records released by Cool Cat, but you'll find all kinds of amazing power pop stuff that he has for sale on his. I mean, I have found out about a lot of bands through just combing through his blurbs.
Yep.
About, you know, I'll read something that looks interesting, I'll play it on a streaming service, and it's like, wow, okay, yeah, and then I'll order it from him. So,
yep.
Good on you, Ray Gianchetti, who's been a guest of ours on Material Issues. And like I said, he's starting off 2024 great as well. I'm sure there'll be more than the two I talked about. All right, we're hitting the top 5 now. And
top 5.
Here's a band who came out of Perth, Australia, that is. And we had the producer of this album, Don Mariani, on a couple of months ago. And we were talking a little bit about Reinhardt's and their new record called Full Bloom. Guess what? Also on Cool Cat on CD.
Unreal.
I said, did I actually say E&M Bailey was my favorite? Well, I was wrong. It's Reinhardt's Full Bloom at number 5. I mean, 5 and 6, they can shift at any time, but they're both absolutely wonderful. And this is just pure power pop all the way. And you can hear a Don Mariani influence in this band for sure. Definitely some DM3 going on in here. Here's the first track. It's the one that really hooked me in. It's called Goodness, and indeed it is. Here we go. I mean, can you possibly forget that chorus? No, you can't.
No.
It is one of the hookiest choruses around in 2023. And they refrained the chorus as well. And most of the album, here you go.
Nice.
Most of the albums, I don't even remember what I was gonna say about that.
No, we're talking about the
most
chorus.
of the tracks on the album, I should say, on Full Bloom are like that. Just amazingly hooky choruses, pure power pop all the way by an amazing band who I hope one day leaves Perth, not permanently, but goes out on tour and happens to pick one of the IPO cities as a part of their tour. And we get them. I've spoken with Benny J. Ward, one of the main men of the band, about that. He certainly hopes that that it happens, but being in that part of the world, it's damn expensive to
very much so,
especially these days to go anywhere. So who knows? But
I want to bring up one point as we come into the top 4 of 2023. We're talking about their names, we're talking about the title of the album, we're talking about where can people, if they aren't yet your friends on Facebook, do they need to go and be your friend on Facebook to find this list, to look at it, or is there another place we can find it?
They do not need to be my friends on Facebook, but anyone who has any interest in seeing the list, I hope they do become my friends on Facebook
Yeah,
if they're on Facebook. But no, they can go to the IPO website, internationaltopoverthrow.com. And once you get there, hover over the tab that says blog, click on Bash on Pop, and then you'll see it right there. And then you can click, you'll see the best of 2023 list, and you can click on that and they will come up. And you'll see some of my previous lists in the Bash on Pop section as well. So, yeah. So basically, yeah, it's on the IPO website, IPO blog, Bash on Pop, best of 2023.
There you go. So scrolling down the bottom, internationalpopoverthrow.com. And then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to see the list of not only the top 150 but there's compilation list. There's
the reissues list, of course.
Reissues list.
Reissues. I heard a lot of them.
Yeah,
heard and own a lot of them, and I rank those as well in all kinds of different categories. Yeah, so the list is way more extensive than the 25 best contemporary albums of 2023.
Yeah,
way beyond that. So so definitely
internationalpopoverthrow.com. You make it your checklist. Then you can buy one, check it off, buy the other, check it off.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. And again, physical product really needs to be supported. And with that in mind, I do not rank digital only releases. I'm not saying they shouldn't exist. I listen to them, but I want more than that. I want physical product. And in fact, I'll say this, the album that would have finished number one for me, I think, is not a physical release yet. And I'm trying to convince the band, I'm not going to say who it is, but convince the band to go with Cool Cat to release this album on CD. But so far it hasn't happened. So I keep cajoling the main man. He's not very aggressive, unfortunately, with this stuff. I don't know why, but he's not. And so we'll see if it ever happens. But it was a great record, just not. And as much as I wanted to make it my number one, it's just my rule, and I'm not going to deviate from that. I want to see physical product from people. I don't care if it's a CD, vinyl, cassette, whatever. There should be something you can hold in your hand and play with. No, don't say anything. That's why I need physical product. So anyway.
Oh Lord.
All right, so here we go. We've got four more amazing records here, and I think a couple of weeks ago on Material Issues, I played a track from this one. This is a band from Denmark, northern Denmark, as far away from Copenhagen as you can get, pretty much. They're called Fox Paloma, and they're three very young guys. One of whom was just finished grad school, I think. So they're in their mid-20s, and the band is called Fox Paloma, and this is the complete collection. And what it is, Silver Twin is one. You're right. That album would have done very well. What year was that? Like 2021 or 20? That album would have done very well for me. And I talked to them about it, and they seemed to think they were going to get signed by a major label, which of course didn't happen. They were young, disillusioned guys, unfortunately. And I hope they're still active, and I hope they do put out physical product. But anyway, this is a band who hadn't. They had 2 digital EPs, and they decided to make it physical on CD and vinyl. And boy, is this great 60s inspired psychedelic pop, as good as it gets. And here's a track by Fox Paloma called Bubble.
Every woman in
man.
great.
They're so good, and thankfully they will be coming to Liverpool to play IPO.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so happy to hear that. Big shout out to my wife, Rena. She's the one who discovered this band online. And immediately when she heard them, she called me into the office and said, "This is a band you're going to love." And she was not wrong. Fox Paloma, the
Fox
complete
Paloma.
collection. It's all 8 songs that they've done so far. And we look out for more. These guys have a great future in pop music if they choose to do it.
Big time. Yeah.
Coming up at number 3, another man who needs no introduction to the
Yep.
power pop community. He may be the most beloved member of that community these days. For his band Pugwash, and now for this record, The Rest is History. Yes, it's by the man himself, Mr. Thomas Walsh, main man of Pugwash, who has released so many amazing records over the years, and the band has traveled all over the world playing shows. Thomas has as well, doing solo shows. He does a lot of house concerts. Wherever he can play, he does. He and the band are from Dublin, so it's not easy for him to get to the US, but he's done it. This is his first. Oh, there you go. This is
Nice.
first solo record, Thomas. It's called The Rest is History. It's on the Curation label. Mr. Brent Rademacher is the head of that label. He was one of the main men in the band Beachwood Sparks a while back. So anyway, this is Thomas's record, and like everything else that he and Pugwash has done, it owes a great deal to Jeff Lynne. This one's a little softer than Pugwash. It's much prettier. Harkens back to ELO's prettier stuff like Can't Get It Out of My Head, for example. Yep. Here's a song called A Good Day for Me by Thomas Walsh.
She makes me smile in a bad way. She makes me cry in a sad way. But all in all, it's a good day for me. She takes me down to the subway. She makes me buy just a one-way. But all in all, it's a good day for me. And I am under no illusions that this fusion of the good and bad, being happy when I'm sad, is always the way it must be. It's a good day for me. She makes me walk on a hot day. She makes me say what I should say. But all in all, it's a good day for me. She gives me life when she heals me. She gives me hope when she sees me. So all in all, that's a great way to be.
Yeah, the whole
See-
record is like that, just really lush, orchestrated, beautiful pop.
Yeah.
One of the most talented men in the pop music community today, and has been since the band Pugwash started in the late 90s.
Wow.
This
Yeah.
is Thomas Walsh, his first solo record.
It's
The
probably
Rest
my top 5 of the year. I'm a lyrics guy. I love his lyrics when he talks, especially that song. He talks about she took me down to the subway, made me buy a one-way, just to get rid of me type of thing. But I'll tell you what it really reminds me of is this solo. It reminds me of Frank Hammersland too. It's the same kind of wonderful, melodic, flowing, lyrically beautiful music, and just really good album. And man, that's good stuff.
Yeah, he's. I mean,
Thomas Walsh.
May he live and record for sure.
Yeah. Good.
All
stuff.
right, two
to go
left, and here's another one who not everyone heard this record, but I will say this: those who have definitely had it in their top 10. It was like anytime I would see it on a list, it would be like number 8, number 5, number 3, maybe even number one. For me, it was number two. And it's a gentleman from Tennessee as well, Reno Bo.
Yeah.
Nighttime on the Sun on Electric Western Records. And he's put out several great records over the years. I think I discovered him about 3 or 4 years ago in time for, I forgot the name of the record now, but it was another really good one. And he's just going back into his early catalog and what he's released recently. It's all such good stuff. There's some power pop on here. There's some rock and roll. But on this album, there's also some really nice soft pop. And I'm going to play one of those soft pop tracks. It's called Magic Key. Here we go.
Beautiful.
That's about as good as it gets in the soft pop vein. And I mean, the album's just filled with all kinds of different sounds, and they're all really, really good.
I'll tell you what,
talented guy.
I'll challenge anybody, like that song right there, Magic Key. Put on a pair of earphones, put on some earbuds, noise canceling, put on anything that removes you from the rest of the stimulus in the world. Lay back, close your eyes, and listen to that chorus and that little riff of keyboard after the chorus. And man, that's going to take, if that doesn't take you away to some otherworldly place and forget all your troubles, that nothing's really going to work.
Yeah, you definitely can escape into a fantasy world.
Man, it's beautiful. That's just such a great feeling. I mean, growing up when we did, David, we did that. We put headphones on and we let music take us away. And I think,
I still do.
I still do too, but I just think there's a lot of people who have never experienced that kind of aural sensation.
And I think a lot of people use earbuds, and so do I.
Yeah.
But I also have over-ear. I have these Sony headphones that I use at my computer sometimes. And
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like a good over-ear pair that just...
No, there really isn't.
Man, something about it. Something about it.
Anyway, this is my number 2 album of the year. I highly recommend it. Reno Bo, Never Nighttime on the Sun, and I hope this guy
Fantastic.
plays IPO one day. We'll see what happens. I'll make it happen. I'm sure I will. And at number 1, this is a band who, well, what can I say? There's some people out there who would never have this band's album on their list, but that's their cross to bear. Anyone who likes power pop and rock and roll should definitely dig this album. It's by a band who became friends of mine in the mid 90s when I used to go to networking groups, and I'd see one of their members, David Heckhouse, there. Then I would see the band play quite a bit. They would come down from Santa Barbara, where they're from, to play in LA. And over the years, they've played IPO in many, many different cities, including LA, Chicago, New York, and Liverpool. And in fact, it was their appearance at IPO Liverpool where they filled in for a covers band and played Beatles tracks that the owner of the Cavern decided to invite them back to Beatle Week every year. That's how good they are. Their recent albums had moved into more of a rock and roll direction, although they were still really good. They didn't quite have that power pop magic, but this one is a return to form. Yes, I'm talking about the Tearaways, and this is the second and album in the top 25. And for our next trick, and the trick is harmony-filled power pop all the way throughout every song on this album. These guys are pros. They've done it for so long. They can all sing, they can all play, and they harmonize as well as anybody does. And here's a song from it called Easier Done Than Said. Here we go. I'll let this one go all the way.
We always bide our time, but it seems to work out fine. It's some kind of grand design, but it's easier done than said. Easier done than said. Wish I could show you what's in my head. For me, it's easier said. For me, it's easier done than said. So much easier done than said.
Man.
I just picked a song, and I just picked that song at random because every song on the album is great.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with anything. Those of you, if you think you're not familiar with the Tearaways, if you have the Poptopia collection that Rhino put out in the mid '90s, the Tearaways are actually on it with a track called Jessica Something. I think that's John Borak's favorite Tearaways track. But you can see they're still going strong. One of the most remarkable things about that band, I always thought, anytime they would come to play IPO, we would have backline amps, and a lot of bands who had never used those amps before would struggle to get the sound that they wanted. Sometimes it would come out a little too distorted or not loud enough or whatever. Those guys would come in. They never saw these amps before. They turn the dials and they dial right in. They had the cleanest, most sparkling sound. They just knew they knew what they were doing. They were total pros, and they still are. And long may they record. The Tearaways, and for our next trick, my #1 album of 2023. So there you have it, everyone. That was my top 25. I have 125 more on that list, as well as many other albums on other lists that I did, including several reissues lists, which include compilations, proper albums, box sets, the whole thing. Go find the list on internationalpopoverthrow.com. Click hover over blog, click on Bash on Pop.
Thanks for spending the time, DC. Yeah,
absolutely. And you'll find it there. And I look forward to what 2024 will bring us. So far, I've heard a few good ones. It's off to a great start. Let's hope it continues that way. So there you have it.
Fantastic. And I gotta bring something up, David. Bruce Brodeen, a few weeks ago on his second appearance on Material Issues, wanted me to bring this up then, but we got into so many different things that he and I both forgot about it. But he and I both challenge you, and I'll be glad to help you with the whole project, but to write a book on all of your lists that you've created from the very first top list all the way to this one, and to talk about, those top 10 per year, top 20 per year, have links to where all those things can be found, just a full information. Yeah, a full informational piece that would be an archive of history of power pop bands throughout the years on the list that you've made. He thinks
power pop and other things,
and other things. He thinks it would be a great book, a great resource to so many people. I think the same thing, and we wanted to bring that up live when he was on air, but we just kind of, how we start talking about stuff, but. That's something we think you need.
Well, I'll speak with Bruce. If he's willing to publish it or can find me a publisher, I may very well do that. It would be fun to write reviews of those albums. It would also give me the chance to hear a lot of them again. Many of them I haven't heard since the year they were out. So that would be fun.
I think.
First of all, thank you guys for. I'm flattered that you would think of me to do that. I will talk with Bruce and. See if maybe that's a project we can work on together.
Yep.
So there you go. All right. We've got some. We won't keep you too much longer. We've already gone past 2 hours, 15 minutes, but we'll talk briefly. No, thank you. We'll talk briefly about some of the guests that we're having coming up.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of 2024, another record that will be coming out soon is called. Raspberry Park, and it's by the great pop band The Weaklings. And coming up next week, we're back to Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. So it'll be Wednesday, January 17th at our usual time. And it'll be Mr. Glenn Burknick, the main man of the Weaklings. And He's been in several other bands over the years, has written a lot of songs for people. So yeah, he'll have some good stories.
Sticks.
No Sticks, yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt that he'll have some good stories, and we'll talk about the Gem Records release coming up by the Weaklings, Raspberry Park. Beautiful
Great
cover.
stuff, yeah.
So that's on the 17th. On the 24th, we have one of the two gentlemen who are from the current configuration of the Corgis, the UK band who had several albums out in the late 70s, early 80s, and a big hit all over the world called Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime. One of the original members is still rocking the band. His name's James Warren. And he, along with current member Al Steele, will be our guest on the 24th on Material Issues. They have a new album coming out right around that time. It's called the Blue Album, and they're going to have a Red Album later in the year. So they're doing the Beatles in reverse, I guess.
Yeah.
These are all new tracks, and I've heard the Blue Album. I don't have a copy yet, but I have the files, and it's really good stuff. So this one's going to be a little earlier, though. It'll be 2 hours earlier to accommodate those daft old men from the UK, so that they can start at 9 o'clock their time. Yes, James Warren and Al Steele of the great The Corgis, who are still going strong.
Good stuff. Yeah.
And we don't have any guests for the next couple of weeks yet, but we will on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
And so, yes, you can get romantic with one of the legends of power pop, who also has a new record coming out, also on Gem, and that's Mr. Paul Collins. He of the Nerves, the Beat, Paul Collins Beat, and several solo records as well. This one, I think, is probably his best record in a long time. I don't have a copy of it yet, but I will soon. We'll talk more about that later. But those are our three scheduled guests. Of course, Ironton the Fire.
Great stuff. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Everyone, listen. Unless Mark has something else to say, we should probably wrap it up.
Now we're going to wrap it up. I mean, I think that episode number 137 with wonderful top 25 from your top 150 list was fantastic. I mean,
thank you.
So
it was
much
fun to do.
Great music.
It was really fun to do. And I want to thank every artist out there who recorded an album in 2023. Special thanks to those who sent them to me on their own dime. I really, really appreciate that as well.
Wonderful stuff.
And of course, to every artist who played IPO. We'll be talking a lot more about IPO, of course, some of whom had records in my top 25. So anyway, that's about it. Everyone have a great rest of your week. Stay safe. We will see you next Wednesday. We're back
next Wednesday
for the foreseeable future. So
6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Have a great night, everybody. David, love to Rena.
Love to Hannah, Leah, and Chaz.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.